In case you missed it, breaking news just dropped. Prosecutors may have just crushed any hope YNW Melly had of walking free. They're now pushing hard to get Bortlen to turn on him, essentially forcing him to snitch. Pray for Melly new court documents reveal that prosecutors are moving to have Melly and Bortlen tried together in the next trial. And it's no coincidence. They're doing it for one very specific reason: to tighten the pressure and make Bortlen flip.
Here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together, just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. They're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
It's just common sense. If Bortlen knows he didn't commit this serious crime, there's no way he'll be able to sit through trial and willingly take a life sentence on the chin. When the pressure hits, it becomes more likely he'll point the finger at Melly to save himself. Prosecutors know this. That's why they're planning to use the interrogation footage between Bortlen and the police as a key piece of evidence to drive that wedge and secure a conviction.
Okay, tell me what happened. Then I was playing music, getting off this. I was already being sleepy, almost home. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's out of nowhere, like, sure. You know what I'm saying? So, and I ducked down, you know what I'm saying, in the car. And I almost cut.
Let me back you up a few minutes. Where were you coming from?
From Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale studio. Which way did you take?
To I-75, 595 to
75. Then you took 75 south?
It's obvious to the officers that Bortlen's story just doesn't add up. He's trying to stay confident, holding his ground, and making his version sound believable. The cracks are showing. In the end, he couldn't keep it together and ended up exposing himself in a lie.
Here's the hard part, what we're having a hard time to understand, is that we shut down that entire area, and we had officers shoulder to shoulder walk it out. They didn't find as much as one shell casing. They didn't find one piece of glass. Nothing. Nothing to what you said adds up. And
it's hard. Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that's the best.
I mean, for whatever reason, your two friends, are these your good friends?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
These your two, I'm assuming, close friends.
No.
And you're doing them an inservice by not telling us the truth.
I'm telling you the truth. I don't like. How? What do you want?
How do you make shell cases disappear?
I don't know. How can I tell you about a shell case?
However, the interrogation quickly takes a turn for the worse. Bortlen starts to lose his cool as the officers clearly aren't buying his story. The more they press, the more frustrated he becomes, realizing that his version of events isn't convincing anyone.
I told y'all the story, and that's it, bro. I don't even talk about it. I told y'all. I don't know.
Okay. Just so you know, all right, because you're saying, well, I don't want to talk anymore. There's going to be a lot more questions. There's, and we're not trying to piss you off. The thing is, we don't know your friends.
Yeah.
So the reason we have to ask all these questions, because the more we know about your friends, your lifestyle, your friend's lifestyle, your friends, his friends, and the circumstances surrounding today, the more, the easier it's going to be for us to try and solve this.
At this stage of the interrogation, it's common for suspects to shut down. And that's when experienced officers know it's time to reset the playing field. Their goal is to keep the conversation going, asking strategic questions in hopes the suspect slips up. Whether it's by changing key details or revealing something new, even the smallest inconsistency can crack the case. In Bortlen's case, the officer shifts gears, revisiting the timeline of the drive-by. He starts asking pointed questions. How was Bortlen driving? Did he hit anything? Was there any panic? It's all designed to make Bortlen either contradict himself or reveal more than he intends.
Let's talk about why. Are you having issues with anyone?
I mean, we are upcoming artists and stuff, so people like, you know, when you like start doing better than people, they start hating and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
So you had some jealousy issues.
Yes, like jealousy issues. But I haven't really been on that. But like he like my friend that's way not got this. He was telling me like, right. He always telling me how people just like today. He was telling me some folks from up our way.
What's up your way?
Like girl, like that's why I used to stay. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up. That's our hometown. Man.
So what did your friend say about from Vero Beach? What was he saying to you?
He was saying basically just like they were on like Instagram, just through Facebook.
With time running out on the allowed interrogation window, the officer cuts to the chase, dropping all.
By just telling me the truth, even if it's something that I don't want to hear, but I respect the truth rather than BS. Okay? And it's a simple question. If you knew who did this, okay, you may or may not know. If you knew who did this, would you tell me? It's either a yes or no question. Answer.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly. The truth. You wouldn't?
I wouldn't really be a part of it. I wouldn't really be.
When asked directly by the officer if he would reveal who committed the crime, Bortlen didn't respond with a firm yes or no. Instead, he simply shook his head. That subtle gesture spoke volumes. If Melly had been the one involved, Bortlen likely knew that verbally denying it could cause his voice to crack or shift in tone-subtle cues that often give away a lie. To the officers, this was a red flag. It strongly suggested Bortlen knew far more than he was willing to admit. Because of this and other mounting concerns, Melly was denied bond. But the situation only worsened. On May 12th, a judge officially ruled that the Florida rapper must remain behind bars until his retrial in September. He has now spent 6 years incarcerated battling a high-profile case in which he's accused of murdering 2 of his former friends, Juvie and Sackchaser. What made the news even more devastating was the hope Melly and his family held. After 1 out of 6 charges was approved for bond, they truly believed he was on the verge of release. His mother's emotional reaction reflected that hope only to have it crushed once again.
Just still praying. I know I said I would I'll keep everybody updated with what's happening. I know right now we're waiting. So basically the judge is going to do, I guess, a written order. So we're just waiting, and that order can come any minute, or it could come tomorrow. I don't know. So we're just waiting. We're just waiting. So everybody just keep praying, keep having faith. Oh, Tessa, stop. I've been crying too. It's been a long time coming, you know.
Despite being locked up for over 2,200 days without Bondovan after a previous mistrial, there was growing hope that Melly would finally be released. In fact, he was granted bond on 1 out of 6 charges, signaling progress toward freedom. However, the prosecutors took a disturbing turn in the case by making deals with Melly's ex-girlfriend, Mariah Hamilton, and his best friend, Bortlen. Mariah had been hiding outside the United States during Melly's original trial. She was expected to testify against him, but never appeared, which led to her becoming a fugitive, wanted by the police. These developments complicated Melly's path to release and cast a shadow over the entire case.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
After spending some time in custody, Mariah was released following a deal in which she agreed to testify against Melly. This development is devastating for Melly's defense. On Facebook, she posted, "And to my village, I love y'all so much. God's plan, not mine." Disturbingly, authorities discovered evidence in Mariah's iCloud account, suggesting that Melly may have pressured her not to testify an act known as witness tampering. This charge is extremely serious and can carry a life sentence, regardless of the outcome of the murder case involving Sack Chaser and Juvie.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
The witness tampering charges are separate from the murder case involving Juvie and Sack Chaser. Because of accusations that Melly tampered with jail phones, he has been denied phone access for several months. In a recent interview, his mother revealed that he's not even allowed to receive or view his mail, shedding light on the difficult conditions he is enduring while incarcerated.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to just to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
If it's true that Melly has been tampering with jail phones, that would explain why his access has been restricted. It's unlikely the authorities would impose such a ban without solid evidence, as doing so without proof could lead to a major lawsuit. What's even more concerning is that prosecutors plan to use Bortlen to testify against Melly in the upcoming retrial. During the original trial, Melly's lawyers had already attempted to shift blame onto Bortlen for the crime.
Those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. You don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car, 2 bodies, car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having the phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
As it's always been, Bortlen who's lied to the feds. He's the one who had firearm powder on his hands, revealing he was there when the crime happened, and that Juvie and Sack Chaser were last seen with Bortlen. They even brought up a forensic scientist who investigated the passings, and she spoke about the powder on Bortlen's hands.